So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today. This is a really wonderful opportunity to be together virtually, even while we're giving ourselves some space to heal. A couple of things before we get started. Some of these techniques can get pretty involved in that if you don't have a regular pranayama practice or a regular breathing practice, it's quite normal to feel a little bit dizzy and lightheaded. You shouldn't feel any pinching. I'm always going to provide alternatives, but just know that if it feels like it's quite effortful, that's not unusual. And just to make any adjustments as we go forward that you need to be able to be comfortable. Along those same lines, make sure that you're in a comfortable seated position. So if you're sitting on a chair, you can do this from a chair. Just make sure that your feet are not on the balls of your feet, that if you need that you kind of put like a step stool or some books underneath of you so that your feet can sit flat. Otherwise, if you're sitting on the floor, you can prop yourself up on a bolster or a block, and also feel free to use wall support. I'm here in this bedroom here, so I'm going to be able to use this bed behind me just to help support my spine so I can stay in an upright position without feeling like it's a lot of effort. So with that in mind, we'll go ahead and get started. What I want to do is just take a moment and just to kind of feel ourselves getting physically settled in. So wherever you are, I want you just to take a breath, and on the exhale, let everything be heavy. Let everything just drop. Let your hips be heavy. Let your feet be heavy. Let your jaw be heavy. Let your eyes be heavy. Feel free to close your eyes or leave them open, whichever feels more comfortable for you. So you are welcome to keep the hands on the knees. Again, let them be heavy. Let them feel supported. Another option is to take one hand to the belly and then take one hand to the chest. So no prescribed instructions here on on any sort of special technique. I just want you to acknowledge and become really aware on both directions of the breath, both on the inhale and more importantly on the exhale. When we exhale, we're creating space in order to receive that energy coming back to us. So allowing the breath to become slower naturally without force. Being in the space of seeing rather than doing. Observing the breath rather than forcing the breath. We'll just give ourselves another minute here. In the shared conscious silence. Give yourselves about 5 more breaths. Decreasing your resistance, your physical resistance, your mental resistance. Let's bring the hands together in front of the heart. I'd like to start us with an opening mantra. You are very welcome to join me in the chanting of Om at the top, or just to listen. We'll inhale together. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavai. Om. Release the hands. If your eyes are closed, gently open them. So we're going to be starting with Kapalabhati, the breath of fire. This is a heating breathing technique. It's some dynamic breath work. A couple of things when we get started. Number one, if you are feeling a lot of congestion here, you might have some snot that will go flying. So just grab some tissue and wipe it as we go along. The other thing is if you have high blood pressure or if you have any hernia or any sort of pressure issues in your internal organs, you want to avoid this practice. If that is the case, then all you would do is just stay with an evenly metered inhale and exhale. So staying with closing off each nostril as we go along, just without the excessive force. So to get started, what I want you to do is to take your hand to your belly. Let me change the screen down a little bit so I can just orient you here. So what tends to happen is we tend to siphon the breath off into the upper part of the chest. What we want to do is to really get down into the pit of the belly, and then we're using this compression here to force the breath out, and then very naturally, because the lungs want to equalize, once we release that space, the air will naturally flood in. So this is a breathing technique without any inhale. You're not doing any effort to make that happen. It will happen on its own. Your job is to, and I'm exaggerating, but is to create this compression here in order to generate a very, very forceful exhale, almost as if you're blowing your nose, but more from the gut rather than from the face. So what I want to do here is we're just going to do each side on its own. You're going to start by taking the right hand and plugging off the thumb. You're welcome to keep your hand here if that helps you stay focused. Otherwise, I want you just to notice this push of air from the belly, and then how it goes through the nostril. So we're just going to start adopting that technique. Let the belly fill. Now forceful exhale. Only through the nose, not through the mouth. Let the lungs fill. Force it out. So if you're very comfortable with this technique, you would do this continuously for 60 strokes. If you're more new to this practice, then just give yourself that one forceful blow. Breathe in. So either those 1 second exhales or a little bit faster, 30 strokes, increasing upwards to a 60 stroke pattern. Okay, so I'm going to stay with this middle range, and then you decide if it's more appropriate to take it up or to take it back, but we'll all start together with an inhale. So not through the mouth, through the nose. From the belly, exhale. When you run out of air, take a breath. 2 more rounds. Relax the belly. Last one. Release the hand. Soften the eyes. Just breathe normally. Now Now let's take that practice to the other nostril. So I'm going to stay with the right hand here. I'm just going to use my ring finger and block off the left side of the nose so that I'm breathing through exhaling only through the right nostril. You guys know kind of where your tempo should be right now, so I want you to stick to the pace that's appropriate for you. But again, keeping the exhale through the belly and avoiding the temptation to purposefully inhale in between exhales. Just stay with your exhale. Let's take a breath together. Inhale. From the belly, push. Until you run out of air, then relax. 2 more rounds on your own. Release. Take a few deep breaths on your own here. Absorbing that energy circulating through the body. So at any point, if your body needs to move around, if you need to change your seated position, please feel free to do so. But let's keep going. Now with both nostrils, you can relax your hands down. Again, if you're familiar, if you want to use a hand position, thumb to index finger, feel free, but also don't feel compelled. Just make sure that your body is comfortable and it's not distracting. So now through both nostrils, it's the same technique. We just aren't providing any restriction here in the nose. So either one forceful, letting the belly fill, or if we were moving up a little bit faster, like so, and belly is just doing this, like a pump. Okay? Again, if you're very familiar, you would work up to 60 strokes, just shorter and a little bit faster, like so. So anytime that you are running out of air, stop the practice to avoid hyperventilation, take the full inhale, begin the practice again. So either going for 10 strokes or 30 strokes or 60 strokes in that one set. We'll all start together. Fully exhale everything out. Inhale. Begin. Release. Breathe normally. One more deep inhale, followed by a full deep exhale. We're going to take that same practice for one more round to your capacity. We'll begin together. We might stop at different points. Let's take an inhale. Only exhaling. Begin. Release the tension in the belly. Just a couple more breaths. Let all of that integrate. Gently blink the eyes open. So my teacher is very adamant, no running, no cardiovascular exercise. This is all you need in order to keep your heart healthy. So moving on to Nadi Shodhana, this is an equal part breath. I'm going to be playing a metronome here that we can follow along with. If the metronome goes a little bit fast for what your pace of breath is, or if it's a little bit too slow for you, you can always turn the volume down if you're listening to this on demand. And then just know that we're going to be going for a 5-minute section. So with Nadi Shodhana, we are taking both equal parts inhales and exhales. We always start with the left side. Yogic philosophy, this is the kind of passive side, the tamasic side. And so we want to kind of stir up all the junk that's kind of settled and get it circulating through the body. So we start with the left side, going for a 4 count. And then no retention, no holding of the breath. And then we directly go to the opposite side. So out through the right, in through the same side, out through the left. So the breath is just volleying left to right. Okay, so that would constitute 1 full round. Now, if you need to shake out your legs at any point, please do so. Make sure that your back is supported. If you need to take a sip of water, not too much because you don't want your belly too full, but a little bit of water is fine. And let me set this speaker up here. Okay, so again, it's going for a 4-on-4 count. If this is something that you feel like you're trying to chase after, then just let the sound go for a little bit, and then I'll tell you when to come back in, and we're going to go through a couple different variations on this practice. So, sitting upright, starting with the thumb against the right nostril here. Take an inhale. Exhale right. Same. Inhale right. Exhale left. This is 1 round. Keep going. In. Out. In. Out. Left. Right. Right. Left. Left. Right. Right. Left. Left. Out. Right. In. Right. Out. left, left, right, right, left. Keep going. 4 more minutes. Release the hands. Allow the eyes to stay soft. Allow all of that energy to integrate. So as an extension of this technique, what we're going to be doing is adding in retaining the breath, both retaining the breath on the inhale and then retaining the breath on the exhale. What I'd like you to do is, again, we'll practice this one time together. So it's the same basic pattern, except we kind of stop at the top and the bottom. So again, starting with the left side, inhale, plug the nose. You can keep the fingers here, or another option is to hold the hands here. Take my glasses off. So in left, same. Hold. Same count. Exhale. Hold out. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. This would constitute one full round. So again, same pattern. In left, hold, right, hold, left, hold. We'll be following along with the metronome again. So let's take a breath together, just regular inhale. Full exhale. So preparing to start, plug the right side of your nose. Let's begin. Inhale. Hold. Right. Hold. In, right. Hold. Out, left. Hold. In, left. Hold. Out, right. Hold. In, right. Hold. Out, left. Hold. 5 minutes. Gently release the hand. Allow yourself to be supported by the floor, by some back support. Feel whatever it is that you're feeling. Allow yourself to just be. One of the benefits of this pranayama is it slows that knee-jerk sense of reacting. It gives you this direction of right thought. And then when you were in a space of right thought, then we're able to move into a space of right action, which is always helpful, but especially now. If you feel that pranayama tends to be very heating, as you can tell, I was taking off layers. It's really important that you don't get cold during these practices. So as we move into our cooling breath or our shitali pranayama, if it is cold where you are, please make sure that you have layers available. If you're experiencing any illness or any sickness, this is extremely contraindicated for you. Again, just adopt a regular inhale and exhale. Otherwise, if your system is pretty good, there's a couple different techniques. One is that you would clench the teeth together like so, and you would suck the air in, close the mouth, and then release the breath through the nose. Any issues with the teeth, again, this is something that can cause some aggravation. So in that case, what you would do is to flick the tongue up to the palate here, like so. And so then the air would actually be coming in through the sides of the tongue on top of it rather than through the teeth here. So, but all the pranayamas close the breath and then come out through the nose. So again, any hint of illness, please avoid this pranayama. Any hint of throat irritation, this is extremely unhealthy for the body. This is only good if you're in a space of feeling well, and then this serves to act as a counterbalance to what we just did. So let's take a regular breath together. Inhale, out through the nose. So either keeping the teeth together or with the tongue. Close the mouth, out through the nose. In through the mouth, out through the nose. Seven more on your own. After your last round, just sit comfortably. Feel that cooling sensation across the teeth, slowing down the system. So our final pranayama practice for today is known as the humming bee pranayama or Brahmari. With this technique, what we're doing is making a humming sound that helps with tension headaches. It gives this really nice vibration through the front of the skull. One thing is if you're experiencing any ear infections, you don't want to practice this pranayama. So again, the alternative being just take a regular, even metered breath. If you are practicing this, what you would do is allow the teeth to separate, but close the mouth. So staying with the breath through the nose. Making that humming sound continuously. So what I'd like to do is to take a hand position that just really helps us kind of lock in to what this breathing practice is trying to give us. You would take your thumbs, so watch me first because we close the eyes for this. You would take the thumbs into the ears here. You would take the index fingers just to give, you're not pushing on your eyeballs, but you're just giving a little bit of weight to the eyelids. You're closing off the nostrils, but making sure that the air can still pass. And then symbolically, you're closing the fingers around the mouth. So it's this idea of really shutting down the senses and allowing yourself to turn inwards. So give yourself that hand gesture, Shamukti Mudra. Allow the teeth to separate, but close the lips. Inhale. 10 rounds. Let's begin. Release the hands. A moment to let the body absorb that vibration. So most important of all these practices need space to integrate. I'd like you to lie flat. It's really important that we are horizontal. So coming into a Shavasana position, making sure that your head is level with the legs. We're going to take a full 5 minutes in a resting position. Please make sure that your temperature is comfortable, that you're not going to get cold or there's not any drafts that are blowing on you. No special breathing practice needed here. Again, moving into that space of being rather than doing. 5 minutes. Take an inhale and exhale. Gently wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Allow the head to roll left and right. Inhale, full body stretch. Exhale. Left hand to the belly. Inhale, lift the left knee. Exhale, roll to the right. Slowly. Make your way back into seated. Allow the eyes to stay soft. Let's bring this practice full circle. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. One Om on the exhale, followed by the closing mantra. Let's take a breath together. Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhina. Sarve santu niramaya. Sarve bhutrani pashyantu. Ma kaste dukkha bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all be happy. May all be free from disability. May all look to the good in others. And may none suffer from sorrow. Peace, peace, peace. Inhale, bring the hands together behind the back. Exhale, bow the head forward. Take a moment. Plant your seeds of gratitude. Acknowledge one thing you have to be thankful for. Inhale, rise up. Thank you for the honor and the privilege. Be well, everybody. Love you.